Also, we have a lot of these private consultant companies like KPMG, like PricewaterhouseCoopers, who tell the government that privatization is the best solution, is the best way to organize resources, the best way to provide provision essential services. And more importantly, the present prevailing logic, economic logic or economic mantra if you want, is that get the state out of the economy. Get the state out of the economy. So therefore, the state becomes only gets involved when there is a malfunctioning in the system, and therefore does not become the engine of growth. Doesn't become the engine of growth. So get the state out of the economy. Therefore, what really happens is now the state becomes a loss bearer. The state becomes a loss bearer. That means now if the problem, say Chavas goes under or Mars goes under, that means they go bankrupt, then the government will go and help. The government will go and help. That is the role of the government now, and they become also regulators. They become regulators. So therefore, they do not provide services anymore, but now they become regulators. So for example, there is a regulator for energy services, for example, like DNB. There's a regulator now for water, and then maybe end of this year or sometime middle of this year, they will have a regulator for the healthcare system. This actually means the government removes itself. The government removes itself out and just looks in now. Before, they were providing it because that was the development goal. That was the goal. People should benefit. But now they say, no, we want to be outside, we want to regulate, but the private sector will organize it. Why the private sector? Because the private sector is supposed to be efficient. Supposed to be efficient. Alright? Now, I just want to quickly say this. The role of consultancy firms. Now, the government of the state government of Perak invited PricewaterhouseCoopers to go and study management of water in Perak and to make a recommendation. On how to manage it in terms of tariff, in terms of resources, human resources, in terms of new ideas and new processes and so on and so forth. Now, PricewaterhouseCoopers came up with the idea that the lembaga air Perak should increase tariffs by 20% and then increase subsequent increases up to 40%. First 20% increase and then 40% increase subsequently, and privatize lembaga air Perak. Now, you will think, why do you want to increase tariffs? When lembaga air Perak makes 50 million, 70 million, 80 million, and last year they made 97 million ringgit in pre-tax profits. Now let's think about this now. The lembaga air Perak is actually making profits. They are making profits. Why do you privatize a public sector that actually is making profits? Does it make any sense? Does it make any sense that you privatize a government institution, a government-linked firm or a government firm that is actually making profits? Not 1 million profit, not 2 million. This is from 50 to 97 million ringgit profits. But the recommendation is to privatize it. Why do they privatize it for? Isn't it a logical question? What do you think? What do you think the answer is? What do you think the answer is? Sorry? Make somebody else specifically good. Huh? The ministers. Okay. The downline supporters. Which supporters? BN supporters. Okay, the point is simply that it is about transfer. It's a transfer of wealth from the public sector, which is the government sector, to the pockets of individuals. That's what is going on now. That's what happened when you privatize Tenaga Nasional. That's what will happen. That's what happened when they privatized the management of water in Selangor, Putrajaya, and Kuala Lumpur. Mind you, I did a study on the lembaga air Selangor. You know, the Selangor Water Board, and at the time of privatization was put forward, the Lembaga IF Selangor was making about 110 million ringgit in pre-tax profits. 110 million ringgit in pre-tax profits, and you make a proposal to privatize it. Now, what is going on here? And as you know, that Shabas today is owned by a private company, and behind the private company are UMNO people. Muhammad Taib himself. He was the minister, chief minister at that time. So the logic is very simple. That government sector is making money. So how do I transfer that money into my pocket? No, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It is piracy. It's the piracy of the highest order. Piracy of the highest order. So you find somebody, and these are all ministers, chief ministers who so-called supposed to act on behalf of the people and for the people, but you know they're working on behalf of their pockets and their bank account. It's quite clear what's happening. Now, just quickly move forward. Now, again, a bit on the role of consultancy firms. The role of consultancy firms. One back. All right. Look at the role of the consultancy firms first. We work with governments shaping the policy, developing frameworks, and helping them to implement privatization industry by industry. Privatization industry by industry. So there are people who love to privatize. In fact, KPMG undertook a public relations exercise in Africa, taking advertisements in the papers and then also coming up with jingles in trying to promote privatization in Africa, when there was so much of people opposing privatization in Africa. Also, PricewaterhouseCoopers was given something like about 24 million pounds. 24 million pounds in order to go outside of England or outside of the UK and privatize water resources, management of water resources in other parts of the world.